the ground. Jesus. I was literally stood directly under that tree, completely unaware that it was wobbling like that. At the moment I'm doing a project about fallen trees. Sounds pretty dull, I know, but it's a pretty simple project. It's just giving me kind of ideas to go out with before I go out, instead of just wandering around. Today it's really windy, so as you can see there's already a fallen tree right there. I'm probably going to end up with one on my head if I'm not careful. But anyway, this video is about the most useless, poorly designed camera I've ever had the displeasure of using. But this project's all in black and white, so I thought I would use my last medium format camera that I have left. I've sold all the others. And I have loaded it with Fuji Acros 100. The old one, not the new one. This camera really is an utter displeasure to use. First of all, you get this little red window which you can probably barely see, but that lets you know on the back of the film there's a number every frame, up to 12 for medium format. So you scroll through and you find a number. But what I don't like is that obviously for black and white film that little red casing there's probably okay. I've put new light seals in it. Since then I don't really have any problems with light leaks, but that little red window lets light directly into the film and I'm not really sure that's a good idea. But there you are, that's the only way you know what frame you're on. I guess I could probably count how many turns I make and then I wouldn't have to use the window. But there you have it. Now obviously this would be ideal for portraits because you're not having your face stuck in the camera the whole time. Which means you get to interact with your model a bit easier. You can shoot from the hip, I suppose, but the viewfinder is so difficult to use. Not because left is right and right is left, up is down and down is up. I mean, I can deal with that with having used other cameras. It's like the focus changes depending on how close you have it to your eye, which means I'm never sure when it's in focus. But you do get a little pop-up magnifying glass that comes there, so you can look in the middle. And then if you get it right up to your eye and look through the magnifying glass to focus, it's normally okay, and then I guess you can kind of shoot from the hip. I just stumbled across this really rusted out, obviously unrecognisable car. There's just the wheels, a few suspension bits and the engine pretty much. That's one of the things I like walking into the woodland itself, because no one really goes here, no one tends to go off the path, and so it's kind of like you're discovering all of these things for yourself for the first time. And I like the idea of nature taking over. It's a pretty cool concept. There's quite a few photo books on it already, and you can see the plants are obviously trying to already grow through the rusted metal. I just think that's a pretty cool concept. Yep, pretty sure I accidentally just double exposed my last shot. Also, you know, I said earlier that it's really windy and I'm probably going to end up with one of these fallen trees on my head, which would probably make a good photo for the project. There's literally that one there, which is like rocking back and forth on one little bit that's balanced, that's still in the ground. Jesus. I was literally stood directly under that tree, completely unaware that it was wobbling like that. The lens is a 75mm focal length, which on 120 film is probably, I don't know, 30 or 40mm, something like that, as a wild guess. So it's fairly wide. Maximum aperture of f4.5, so you can actually get some pretty blurred backgrounds if your subject's close enough to the lens. And it's obviously a leaf shutter lens, so it's really, really quiet and subtle. You kind of have doubts of whether you've actually taken a picture or not. You don't have a lot of choice in shutter speeds. You've got up to 2/50th of a second, and then the lowest is 1/15th or bulb, so you can hold it down for as long as you want. It's actually a pretty sharp lens, to be fair. I love shooting on 120 medium format film. Actually all film, but especially medium format. But going from the Mamiya RB67, which is just a perfectly designed piece of equipment, to this, it's a bit of a shock, and I'm not really getting on with this camera. It's just so plasticky, it feels like a toy. And Lomography sell it on their website, or a variant of it at least, for like 300 quid. Absolutely ridiculous. This thing's worth about 30 at a push.